Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you all are back because we are moving on to the last session for the day by Chennai chapter. It's a session talk on continuous improvement in Agile. And we have Shalini Reddy, who is a senior delivery manager at IBM, talking about the same. Before we begin with the session, let me thank our founding sponsor, Innovation Roots. It is a leading consulting and training service provider, helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. You can find out more details at www.innovationroots.com. We are also excited to have Gile as a sponsor for our community. It is a product offering from Tata Consultancy Services. It is a purely cloud-based enterprise agile planning tool along with DevOps capabilities. Enterprises can use Gile to adopt agile practices or scale across multiple Scrum and Kanban teams using enterprise scaling frameworks such as SAFe, Disciplined Agile, LESS, and more. You can try out Gile for free for up to 20 users for 30 days by signing up at gile.io or reach out to us for any inquiries or exclusive product demo. Check out the Gile page on Agile Network India website for more information. And with this, I would like to call upon Manoj, who is going to facilitate this session, and Shalini, both of you. Welcome on the webcam and the microphone.
Thank you, Nupur. All right. Good evening, everyone. So what we'll do in this session, let's look at one of the principles of Agile, continuous improvement. Let's hear from the industry expert, Shalini Reddy, as she takes us through her experience, her learnings, and the takeaways. So I think similar to the last session and what Nupur mentioned, for the first 30-40 minutes, Shalini will be presenting her thoughts, and feel free to put your questions in the chat. And what we'll do is the last 10-15 minutes we'll reserve for the Q&A session. Over to you, Shalini.
Yeah, thank you. So let me just share my screen. So today mainly I'm going to talk about, it says leave. Okay, continuous improvement in Agile. Okay, so let me give me about myself. So I am Shalini Reddy, and I work as a senior delivery manager in IBM. And prior to that, I was working as a AQL account quality leader, where my roles and responsibility was completely on quality transformation and continuous improvements. And that was also in IBM. So I am with IBM for last 14 plus years. And overall, I have 16 plus years experience with business processes, projects, technologies, project management, and a bigger agile transformation. So I come up with the technical project management and quality background. And I was instrumental in doing some of the strategical agile project transformation, where like innovation and automation and metric measurement, shift right, always one of the key indicators, and which helped us to bring in a lot of productivity. So I'm also like, I like to do more kind of learning and certifications and all. That's my passion. So if you have seen, like I have done most of the certification in Agile. Okay, I started first with PMP, then I have done Agile Coach, okay, and Scrum Master, Agilist, then Kanban designing, and I've done a lot of these as a practices also. And I'm also a Green Belt Six Sigma and DevOps Masters. Have done implemented a lot of pipelines, DevOps pipelines in Agile systems and cloud. Okay, and at the personal front, if you see, I have one son, Vishant, and we know all pandemics, they're all working from home. So just I've shifted to my native from last 1 year. So I'm basically based at Chennai. And if you see, like I like to do meditation a lot. Okay, so I actually hear out more on the heartfulness. Okay, and I do meditation and all. I have really seen a lot of difference in that. And I read books also. So one of my favorite book is The Secret. So I tell in my session this book because I have seen that is a life-changing book. Okay, so this book is really like, it says like it's a like what our thoughts are, that makes our life. So law of attraction. So keeping positive thoughts, okay, keeping what you wanted in your thoughts surrounded makes that thing to happen. That I have seen in that book, and I personally have seen a lot of life changing happening in that. Okay, so I'll go to the next page. Okay, before we even go to continuous improvement in Agile, I thought it is good to discuss about continuous improvement in general, because this terminology was there earlier also when Agile was not there. Also, we were saying continuous improvement, right? So continuous improvement is not like it is not only in the industry or project, but in our real life also we follow continuous improvement. Okay. So I would like to give you simple examples before even I go to the terminologies. See, example like in your day-to-day life, when you are in school, okay, you may be traveling by a way to school. Example, just I'm taking a Chennai example, from Nungambakam to Central, okay, if there is a travel happening for a school or a college. So first time you would have gone in a bus, okay, and then you would have thought, oh, there is a much more effective way of doing it. I could go in a train, which is actually saving me more time, and the cost is also saved. Okay, and you saw that in train you're not getting on time, the trains and train timing, and you have to wait for a time. Then you come up and you say, oh, there is something called share auto which I can use. Okay, so this is kind of a continuous improvement you have seen, right? So you are doing it, then you found there is a something is not working out, you discuss, you talk, you find out a route, and then you change it, right, for a betterment. So what you get in return? Something like a time, you're saving the time, you improve the efficiency. So cost is also saved. Like for me, like I'm telling the example of a train where like a share auto would have been costing lesser than a train, right? So every time there is a learning and you're starting to implement that, that is called a continuous improvement in a simple terminology, if you understand. So I just want to move this bar because I'm not able to see my own slide. So let me just move, give me a minute.
Sharli, you can make use of the orange arrow to push that onto the right side of screen.
Okay, where is that orange arrow?
You see it above the microphone icon.
Collapse, yeah, I got it, thank you. Okay. Yeah, so I just gave you one definition of continuous improvement. So we all know continuous improvement is being used for product, services, improvement of it. Like it can be done in an incremental model or in a breakthrough. So earlier, if you see in the traditional model, right, in a waterfall or other traditional model, what used to happen is like the project is completed, then lessons learned would have been completed, and that lessons learned would be used to the other projects with a similar nature, but it will be very less chance to implement in the same project, right? So the continuous improvement used to happen at the longer time. After the completion you have to wait, but it is not like that. Okay, when we come to Agile, I will tell you how it happens in Agile and how quickly it is there to implement, and benefits can be seen in Agile itself. So if you see in the continuous improvement, there are some industry best practices like Kaizen, dimming methods and all. So we all would have read about Kaizen, right? Where it says like a Japanese word. It says like change, change. Kai is a change and Gen is a good. So change is good. Okay. In sometimes this method is very simple. Like you take a feedback. Okay. You find efficiency, like identify the change, and you actually revolve it against it, and you actually go and find out how this change you can do it, and then again the cycle runs. Similarly in a dimming, you find out, you plan what you have to do a change. Okay, it can usually you always have to see it as a positive change. You plan it, you execute it, you review it, you identify first, then plan, execute, review. The cycle keeps on going on. Like you in one cycle you find out this is a change you want to bring in, or this is the idea you want to bring in, this is the innovation you want to do, or this phase can be automated, you want to do that. You identify that, you plan that, put up a plan, like what are the dependencies, what are the tools, what are the methodologies you can improve. Okay, and then you start executing it. After the executive you review it. Yeah, there was a as is process was this. Like when I was doing this particular project, this was the as is process, this was the efficiency I was doing it earlier, this was the effort savings, or whatever the effort was taking to do that work. And after that you complete it and you compare with as is process with the new one which is being done after the continuous improvement, and definitely you would be seeing a change in effort savings, okay, efficiency, quality. You would have better tools usage. So all that you would have seen it. So that is where like this is a that's the reason we say it's a continuous improvement that doesn't stop. It's keep on still the project or any services which is running, still that the continuous improvement goes. So many times, see, in any of the industries we have seen, there will be a continuous improvement framework, they call it as. So defined framework for the team to do it. Like they have a framework where they say that these are the techniques you can use to do a continuous improvement. These are the idea jams you can run. You can use different kinds of methodologies to doing idea jammings and all. Some kind of a survey, some kind of a feedbacks. Okay, all that you can use it and then see the improvement. So these continuous improvement framework will help the team to understand like how the continuous improvement can be defined in their project. Okay, so start to the end. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. So we just discussed what is continuous improvement. Now we will see why we want to do a continuous improvement. Okay, so we can also like do whatever I'm doing. Like I was going from Nungambakkam to Central for my college. I could have just gone in the train, right? I could have not thought about why I should go and do other. But if I would have not done that, I would have lost. I would have been paying more cost. I would have not known efficiency, right? The efficiency, like it was more efficient to go by a share auto, quicker, cost is less. Okay, so continuous improvement always gives a greater efficiency and better usage of time. Okay, and it also eliminates the waste. So when I say continuous improvement, you have a workflow. You just do an analysis of that workflow and find out like this flow is not required. Like there is one additional approval process. Oh boss, this approval process is not required. It's a waste of time, right? And you find out there's no need. If there is a one level of approval is enough, the second level is not required. That time you in the process you eliminate that, right? That way the you see the shorten, the process gets shortened and you actually save cost as well as the time. And many times we have seen the best quality you get it because more ideas are coming out from the teams, right? Because they themselves reflect them. Like if I do this work like this, you yourself, like individual reflection is main in agile. Okay, I'm not going to agile still, but in agile the individual reflection is very, very important. Like I should know what I have to improve better in next sprint. Okay, and improved relationships. So relationship with the client, relationship internal teams. Okay, and we have also seen a good communication and collaborations. Okay, when you discuss, you find out, you join as a team, as a group, you discuss, right? Okay, now I will go to agile. So continuous improvement in agile. So as I said earlier, in traditional models, we used to do it the lessons learned. That is called lessons learned earlier. Okay, lessons learned were done later in the cycle, and that used to get implemented in the next similar nature project. But in agile, it is not like that. Okay, it is called retro. Retro is part of a continuous improvement. But many times today also we see like in agile also the continuous improvement is seen as a nice to have feature. So team says, okay, boss, if we have time, we will do it. Otherwise, we will just go to the next sprint, or we just put 30 minutes discussion. Okay, done retro and just close our systems and we just go and forget what was discussed, because that is treated as many times treated as one of the ceremony alone. Okay, but the CI is very, very powerful and effective methodology. If we drive it properly in the long run, we have seen huge difference. Okay, the team who are actually, I'm going to tell you the example and the case study in the next cycle, the next slides. See, I have seen literally the difference between a team A and B. If you follow retro formally and periodically and diligently, you would be seeing wonders in the team. Okay, and there are teams who actually treat retro as just a nice to have features, only just 30 minutes. So it's a time bound exercise in agile. Okay, if it's a 2-week sprint, have maximum 30 to 90 minutes. We should not spend 3 hours, 4 hours and all. Okay, maximum if it is a 1 month and all sprint, then take it at least 2 hours. That's it, not much more than that. Okay, so we have seen that teams like this, they take it the questions on the board. If earlier it was like co-located teams get into a room, put it on the board, discuss the retro, this is actions. Afterwards, nobody's remembering it, just they forget and they go off. Okay. But what is now, like we all started working from home, right? So how this could have been improved? So I have a case study for that. I'm going to show you that. Okay, so main thing in the retro, okay, when the retro is done, so I will also tell you how a retro should be done, or a suggestion how could be done in the agile. Okay, mainly we have to concentrate on the positive things. Okay, so positive is like, what did you go well in the project? It should always be started with positive. So what went good in that sprint, or what didn't go well in the next question? Okay, and what can be done better for the next sprint? Okay, these are the 3-4 questions we need to ask ourselves, like when is the team. Okay, and team needs to come prepared for that, and this all should be only the goal to improve the how the current team worked in the earlier sprint and how they are going to improve in the next sprint. So how our process, methods, and tools are getting improved. So predictably, the discussion should be mostly limited to that. So once you discuss, so those should be incorporated to a backlogs, those issues. So this sprint, I had a retro. There are a lot of ideas, issues came up. So add those to the backlogs. Okay. But all the backlog and all things, you cannot take it in the next sprint itself, right? Because you have a limited team and you have priorities. So prioritize, like from the backlog, which ideas or which issues needs to move for the incorporation for the retro. So take that and then build the product, and after building, deliver the product. So, but this cycle will be happening entirely as a cycle. You complete a sprint, you have a retro, you add in the backlog, you prioritize what issues or whatever ideas needs to be in place, take it. So it should be always a cycle. So always there will be a continuous improvement. So how you will measure these improvements, right? You're doing it, but how are you measuring? You see the team is engaged, right? 100%. Like all of your team is actually coming, talking in the retro, okay? And you're seeing your PO stat is improved, your velocity has improved, okay? Your defects have reduced. So there, these are the metrics which will reflect. Okay. So when you start doing it, there will be a reflection on your agile metrics. Okay. So let me show you like these questions and how structured we should have a retrospective. Okay. See, the thing is, when we say there are basic certain things needs to be set up before the retro, and we have seen these concerns were there in some of the Scrum teams. Many times, right, the team will come, but nobody will talk. Only one person will talk, and they'll say retro done and go. Okay, because they will be having a fear that if I open up my mouth and tell something is wrong in the team, I don't know what is going to. If I give idea, I don't know if anybody is going to take that idea. Because many times we have seen like a team itself, like there won't be any kind of good discipline. That one person is talking, other person will stop him. Hey boss, no, that's not a right idea. So setting up the ground first is very much important. The stage one, where you set up the ground well. Okay, you actually help the team to open up the mouth as a scrum master, as a project manager. You tell the team, like you help the team to come and talk, open up their mouth and tell the what is right, what is wrong, what went good. So for that, you have to create the environment. That is first. Second is build the ground rules. Okay, respect each other. If it's a small idea, big idea, if that idea is not implemented also, it's fine, but there should be a respect for each other. Okay, and outline the approach. So third is outline the approach for the complete response. What is that you're going to discuss? So from the earlier sprint, what is that? The tools, methods, process, and what would have been done better in the sprint, last sprint. That is what we are going to discuss, and give time, the enough time to come prepared. So we have seen like fatafat do a Scrum release and then you immediately get into a retro. 30 minutes, that's the ceremony close. No, you give a time to the team, give a day's time. Oh boy, you think what could have been done, and give them some kind of like come up with the notes. Okay, they can put up their notes or paste it in a digital board. These are their questions before even they come to the ideas, before even they come to the meeting. That way you can make the usage of the time well. Okay, so mostly these are the 4 things we ask. One is what went well, what would have been gone better, What do you want to try next? What questions do you have? So these are the 4 things we have to categorize it one by one and take it up. Okay. And when I take it up, in the sense, everything cannot be taken in the sprint immediately for the next, put it in the backlogs. Okay. And very, very much important. Okay. Those actions should be worked, and there should be a target date, there should be a closure. So that needs to be done. So no idea should be lost. Okay. So, and we have to ensure that it is getting closed. Okay, just giving a time check.
Yep, we have
Okay. Yeah, we have. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to the case study. So let me go to the case study. So I have given 2 case studies here. One is like a Happy Path Agile, retro, Happy Path retro. Okay, where the team is good, everything is going good. And the other one, there were issues, but that were found, and the improvements were brought, and the changes went done. Okay, so let me go with first with the Agile team B. Okay, which is like Happy Path team. Okay, so this is a winning team, I call it as. Okay, so they were having a retro formally done after every sprint, and they were diligently adding the retro actions and the ideas to the backlog. And in the team was like 100%, everyone was talking and very comfortable with each other. They were literally giving their ideas. Okay, they were not scared to talk, and they were respecting each other ideas. So very disciplined team. Okay, that was the second point. And very standardized, like they had the, before even they come to retro, the board was full with the ideas. So team was so disciplined, like they know there is a retro tomorrow, and go to the board and fill up the ideas. So when they are coming, the digital backlog was full. So team was like, and 60% of their ideas were seen like completing, and it was literally evident that continuous improvement was done, and 100% the team was engaged. Velocity was improving. Their team, their quality metrics were improving. Okay, defects were reduced, and lot of new processes were brought in place. Like lot of workflows were changed, and there were a lot of savings was team was able to show. Lot of process was automated. Like when they were doing the earlier sprint, was this can be automated? Let's do this automation. Lot of innovation were brought. Okay, so this was one like ideal team. And as soon as these team actually moved from to work from home, they immediately moved to a digital board also. Like earlier in office, they all used to sit in a room, and on the board they will write like what went well, what would have done better. Now they all had a digital board. Okay, like still they are not feeling that they are not co-located. So all the latest tools they started using it. Okay, so they actually adapted to the change. So that is one main thing in retro. Okay, so you actually inspect and adapt. You find out what is the concern or what could be improved, and you adapt to that change. Okay, and this is a little example in retro also. As soon as they moved to home, they did not feel any change, like it's co-located or it's people are working from home. There was no change because they started adopting the change and bringing up new tools, new technologies, and they started doing it. Okay, this was on the Agile project B, which was a Happy Path. And we have seen many projects like this, which is also happening. And next was project A. Okay, so in this project A, what we have seen is like team was not talking. Okay, one person will come and talk, the other people will not even talk it, and they will not even show any interest. Okay, and the other thing we have seen, like they were finding very difficult as soon as they moved to home. They were finding very difficult. Like earlier in the board, they used to write where to write. There's no boards, physical boards are not there. Something they will discuss, and after that they'll just forget what they discuss in retro. Then again the next sprint will come, sprint planning, this, that, and all will start it. Delivery, that's it. Okay, there was a retro done, but nobody even remembered that. Next retro came, like that retro was just one formality to be done in this team. Okay, so what was like a solution? So digital dashboard was bought in. Okay, a lot of digital, and actually a lot of work was done to build a team, because building a team is very much important, and self-disciplined team is what in agile we needed, right? Morely. So team needs to open up their mouth, come up with the ideas, respect each other. So ground rules, social contract, which was brought in place, and team was like given space to put their ideas in the retro boards. And these the action log was created, like backlogs they were adding it, a clear-cut action log where they can see what are the actions needs to be taken, are these getting to closures, and they were literally shown a transfer, like this is our velocity, this is our quality metrics. So all the data points, right, like before even the retro was happening, the data points was shared to them, so they have the insights about the data, like what is happening in the sprint. So when they are able to see the data points, they were able to make more justification to giving the ideas, thinking and all. And what was resulted? So results were like 100% team engagement was seen, and 60% more efficiency we have seen in the team. So like this B team and A team started to be same after certain time. Okay. So what I wanted to bring in that this retro is like very much important, because we do a lot of agile projects are done, but retro has never been considered as one of the important factor. Okay. So retro is most important factor actually. It is not a nice to have feature. It is the best and it should be there and it should be done effectively, and then you will see a better changes happening. Okay. And what changes will happen? Changes will happen to what? Like the quality metrics, the better definition of dones, okay, better team engagements, better customer satisfactions. So all that will bring in. Okay. So let me go to the last slide. Okay. So what would be a takeaway for us? So first takeaway is we have to set up the team which speaks up. So for that, lot of background work needs to be done by the team. Okay, so we can use lot of techniques actually in the industry today. Lot of techniques are there, like feedback mechanisms, surveys, okay, like Delphi technique, Kaizen. All these are like methods which we can use. Lot of methods are there. Just you Google it, or you'll find 100 of methods to implement for the surveys. Okay, for setting up the team to speak up. Sometimes team doesn't speak up directly, so giving them a space that they can actually put up in a survey, or they can give a feedbacks and they can come up and put up on the board. And setting up the ground rule is also very much required. Respecting each other, hearing out each other's ideas. So that is very much required. So that is the second thing we have to set up. And before even the retro happens, we need to ensure that things are being well prepared. The data points, get data gathered, and insights are being shared with the team. And the ideas are being collected before the retro. Okay, ideas or issues, all okay. So all that should become prepared. And fourth is tracking to the closure, because the up to third, like most like 60% team can do it, but the last tracking the action to the closure only, like if it's 20% of the team actually takes up, because the backlog is so high that prioritization is very much important. Unless we prioritize the backlog and take the actions on the for the continual improvement, the change cannot be shown. And then showing back the benefits to the team again. So these were the actions we got from last, and these were the ideas we got from last retro. Actually, we prioritize and we have taken in this sprint, and this is the improvement we have seen. That needs to be returned back to the team again. So that is also very much important to give them. Okay. So I think I'm on time. So this was my last slide, Manoj.
Yep. Thanks, Ali. Then I think we can go to questions. Folks, please submit your questions in the chat. I think a few questions are coming. We'll take one by one. Shalini, let me shoot the first question that has come. What is the best way to do a remote retro?
Okay, the best way to do remote retro is, see, you should not find first any difference between the virtual or we were co-located, because today the technologies are so much improved. The board are digital boards are there, like you all share in your, like you have a Zoom, you have a WebEx, right? Google Meet, all that are giving you like that gives you a feel that you all are together. So use those tools, display the board as it was in office and start doing the retro. But you would have seen, like you in office, you can see the person's behavior and face, and you can find out that person is going to talk or not, right? So before even like that is where most importance of building the relationship and more connect with the team. So in Agile, I feel we should spend more time with the team to build the connect and relationship. That is more important, because today a new member is joining, we don't know, right? Personally, see, if I know Manoj, I have seen him now, I know, okay, by looking at him, oh, Manoj will be like this, I can imagine, right? So face connect is important. So ensure you have a video call. So don't go without video call for retro at least. Did I answer you?
I think Priyanka asked it. I think it was, yeah, I think definitely for me, at least I felt that way. Just an extension of that question. There's a question from Manu. Please suggest any digital boards to conduct retro. Any examples that you can think of?
Okay, yeah, fine. You can use Jira boards, TFS, Team Foundation Server is there, right? TFS can be used, Jira's can be used. Okay, we have Mural boards, all that can be used. In Mural board itself, we can create the board as a retro and we can do it. A simple not that also is not possible. Do it simple Excel or a PPT and share it and update on the fly. That is also possible. If you don't have a well-versed tools also, we can go for those.
All right. Probably another extension of that question. Can you suggest some effective or fun retro methods? Maybe we can use this for team building activities.
Okay, fine. See, in the industry itself, there are a lot of methods available already. Okay, like feedback mechanism, Delphi method, we call it as, okay, and survey methods. When you actually send it as a survey, and you don't know what to make a decision, but you send a survey and you get the results of it. Okay, this idea is good to implement. This is what went good. So there are a lot of techniques which is used available in the industry. We can use any of those. Okay, and all those are well versely implemented earlier itself. Okay, and you can go for voting method. Voting is also good. In like if there is no much to in the chat also, we can go for a voting, or in our WebEx or a Zoom also we can go for a voting method. So that is very quickly you can achieve.
All right. I think the questions are coming sort of tied to the previous question. A
Okay.
little detail about the Delphi method. Folks are asking.
Okay, fine. So this is a mainly a feedback methods. Okay. So what we do is we ask questions and you get the feedback responses. Based on that, you make a decision to take which are the good ideas. But that can be covered detailedly in some sessions also.
Okay. All right. And I'll just go back to one question that I skipped through because there was a thread of similarity for the other question. This goes back to our case study. As you mentioned about Team A in case study, did they require to do retrospectives in future? This is the question.
No, they always have to do retrospective. It is not like one time they did and they achieved. It's a continuous improvement, right? So what is that? Like they achieved is then they should not leave retro. Retro is like it will work out. It's a continuous improvement. You do it for the sprint, you have improved. You do it for the next sprint. Next sprint, there will be changes. So there's nothing like I am stable, I don't want to do it. Okay, there will be always need for a change, need for ideas, need for innovation, need for automation. So there's nothing called like I should stop, I am good. Okay.
Agreed. Very well put. And
Sustainability is very much important, that I want to tell you.
yes. Again, I think on a similar line or similar line of thought. Let's say this is a question from Priyanka. Let's say a remote team is not improving at all. How can we assess it?
Okay, like example, they're not talking at all, you're saying, or they're not coming up with the ideas?
Could be in multiple factors. Any of the factors they're not able to improve at all.
Okay, fine. See, mainly we have to use a, see, when we do this retro, right, we also go for a 5 why methods. I don't know how many of you have seen that 5 why methods or fishbone methods, okay, to find a root cause, like why a team is not talking, if that is a reason, okay, you actually do a root cause and find a root, like why that they are not talking. And that cause needs to be fixed. Like example, a person may have, in a team, 4 or 5 members may have a communication issue. They feel like if I talk, maybe I'm not talking right, or half information. Okay, sometimes people will not have full information and they will be scared to open up their mouth. So giving that comfort, like finding the cause why team is not talking, and bringing that change in the team, getting up the action. Example, team is not talking because they have half information. So giving the opportunity to team to understand the entire information is one way. Second way is telling them that is okay if you don't know everything, that is fine. Everyone doesn't know everything, but your ideas are important. Give the ideas, we'll go from there. So that comfortness and bringing that trust in the team is very much important. So agile is all trust team, right? So trust is the first thing should be built. If there's no trustable team, the retro won't work. Okay.
Thank you, Shalini, for that. Probably a question that's going to go a little different on a different way, because we spoke about team and the trust, and then things are going on. So there's a question on, do we need to escalate a non-contributing team member? I know this is a little tricky question, but I'll let you answer it.
Yeah, fine. See, escalation should be a last as per me, okay? Because every person has some kind of a good thing. So that is what like a Scrum Master plays a bigger role. So the Scrum Master has to find out like what is the problem with that particular team member, okay, and find out, and there should be a completely coaching given to the team member, okay, completely a coaching in the sense like giving with the time boxed coaching, okay, and proper actions, and there should be a support from the team member also to improve. If that is not there, then there will be a challenges, right? So we have to think then, okay, but there is always first step is coaching, guiding, and finding out why and what could be done better.
All right, that definitely helps. There is, I'll take one quick question, which is slightly different from our. So we spoke about retro, every sprint, or roughly the sprint is 2 weeks, right? So there's a question: can we follow quick retro every day? Digital board is always open to mention whatever comes to mind for any team member. What do you think on this?
Yeah, that is, we can leave it on the agile team. If they want to put it, they can put, but it is good to do after 2 weeks, I feel, because see, always doing everyday retro also, we have our day-to-day work, right? So when we say like we have like 8 hours of the task to be done in agile, right? So that won't be having like much time to do everyday retro. But if they remember the idea, immediately they can put it in the board. Nobody is going to stop them, okay? And anyway, like somebody is looking at the ideas, they can go and comment and vote it. Yeah, this idea is good, we can go. All that can happen simultaneously. That's all depends on the team. We can do that.
All right, that helps and answers. Um, so this is the next question is going to be an extension of our previous question. So if there are people, there are people in the team who are not willing to follow the Scrum ceremonies, let's say retro, how to coach them or guide them to attend it in this case?
Yeah, so the divide and rule, I don't know how many of you have heard. So you have like 8-member team and one person is not handling, the 7 are right. So making that 7 people doing it, right? The one person will observe and he'll start doing it. What I have seen, okay. And another thing is like many people, right? They still don't know like what is agile and all, right? So giving them agile training is very much important. Understanding the agile, how agile works. Okay. So we should give some kind of trainings and show them how the others are actually looking and contributing. So that is also important. They have to do the reflection, and that is also the another way of looking is the retro is also done on an individual, right? The person has to do retro on him itself, like why he's not following the agile ceremonies.
Thanks for that, Shalini. And I think you also spoke about the Scrum Master playing a big role in sort of coaching and the overall aspects of thing. So there's a question on that. In your view, what is the one best quality that a Scrum Master must have?
Okay, one is what I felt is Scrum Master have to like build the trust with the team, and he should not be like see, many times I use that word coach, but I feel like he should not be a bossy, right? So you know that Scrum Master is a servant, right? So that is like Scrum Master should be very like open and transparent to the team. That is important, and he should build the relationship and good collaboration with the team, good communication. Okay, someone
All
asked
right.
what is retro. Retro is not putting the blame on others. Okay, so retro is like this person did this defect, I did not do, he went this and this change, I am not responsible for that. That is not retro. Okay, so how could we avoid that defects has come? So that is a retro. What would have been done better to avoid that defect? Okay, so that is a retro.
Thanks for bringing that point, Shalini. I think, in fact, there is a question on how do you handle blame game in a retrospective when the session is going on.
Yeah, so I feel like when a retro we are driving, we should not encourage a blame game. So when I'm saying the social contract and ground rules, that is very stage one. So stage one should be fixed very well. So setting up, respecting each other's idea, not doing a blame game. So setting up a trustable and disciplined team is very much important, and that is one of the principle of agile also. That is set up. I think all this. So, but in first 2-3 retros, any new team will see that blame game. But by the time we coach, we guide, and we help the team, and the trust is built, all this will vanish. Okay, so that is also a continuous improvement one way.
All right, that definitely answers it. And there's a series of questions sort of tied together, which is now we spoke about the team as a whole, right? But then obviously not all every member in the team is going to be the same person as well. So if there are senior members in the team, right, and they feel that there's less importance given to them, so how do you tackle it? Because I think when we look at a team, the entire team is equal, right? It's not about one individual. I think this is a very specific personality specific to the person question. I'll let you answer, Shalini.
Yeah, sure. But that behavior is nothing to do with retro, because I feel he will maybe contributing to retro everything well. But that will be a bigger problem as an agile team. That should be taken as agile team. Like how we can actually make the team, that senior person understand, like in agile, how the teaming works, how the discipline is brought, how the trust is built. Because agile team, nobody is big or nobody is small. All are treated as equal. That is agile team, right? But I feel that question is nothing to do with retro, because retro he may be contributing. If he's not contributing to the retro because juniors are answering questioning, I don't want to question. If that disciplinary issue is there, then that should be treated differently.
Okay. So this is next question is going to be a little different from the Scrum. So how does scaled agile teams perform continuous improvement?
Okay, that's a good question. So it's all again scaling, right? We are talking about scaling. So continuous improvement retro happens at the agile teams, Scrum teams. Similarly, the scaled agile to the bigger teams, that happens at the product owner level, or should I PI plannings and all. It happens at that level. So this continuous improvement is like it happens at the bottom, then top everywhere. It is not like it is only happening in one team and it's not happening at other Scrum teams. So when I have a 5 Scrum team, then I have a safe team, okay, entirely. So all of them will be doing their retro, and at the top also there will be a retro. So continuous improvement will happen in every phase.
Okay, that definitely answers the question. And so here is something that came. There's a question from your previous answer. How should we use root cause analysis in retro?
Okay, 5 simplest way to use 5 5 I's. Okay, so first time you ask why. So I want to give you a simple example. Okay, example, a person has a fever. Okay, first time he get a fever, some fever. Okay, so what do you do? Why he got fever, we ask, right? So now we can say, so he got some virus, so he got a fever, right? So then again, why he got that virus? Oh, he went out, so he got that virus, right? Then again, oh, why he went out? Next question. So 5 times we ask. The last why, the answer can be at third why, answer can be at 5 whys. Okay. So wherever you get your answer, that is a technique. That's a 5 why technique. We use it, and based on that, you put a cause and you put it like whatever the action required. So 5 why. And there is also preventive and corrective and correction. I don't know how many of you have heard about it. Prevention, corrective and correction, that also we can implement actually. Sometimes we can prevent. So these vaccinations are preventive measures. And you use a Dolo 650 for a fever. That's just you're correcting for that time, right? Just that time that fever is going off. So something like that. Fishbone also can be used. Fishbone also can be used. Okay, so I want retro fishbone also. You have a particularly one concern or issues or something, cause you just put that and put a different fish, and on the bones you can put like people process methods, and based on that you can have the causes. This is simple. I'm telling you, people process environment. It can be based on your own situations also. So fishbone is also a good mechanism to be used.
Thanks for that, Shalini. I think Swati, I think there's some of those lot of different approaches Shalini is able to share, and I think we spoke about the Maxine and the Dolo 650 a little earlier, so I think very happy to see that link there as well. So the next question that I have here is again very specific to people and then the team itself. How do you convince a PO if he or she is arrogant or pushy, and they're keeping asking for delivering more every sprint, and there's a consistent pressure? So I think the question is probably an extension of how do you implement some of this improvements within the team? Like, do we have enough time for that as well?
Yeah, so first thing is like prioritization happens with the PO, right? So your every decision is actually your PO is involved there, right? And PO is also looking at the velocity of the team. So it's not like without a data point, if that has been asked, then the data point should help us to show that. So this is also our velocity, this is my burn down, okay? And this is a team's capability, what we understand. And this is the priority, prioritize the user stories. Okay.
All right. Hope that helped Nikant answer the question on that front. I'm just taking a quick look if I missed any question. I think there was a barrage of questions. Yes, I think there's an extension to that. I think you sort of spoke about that as well. What happens if the PO, right, keeps changing priority? So how do we handle that in a sprint?
Bring that in retro and discuss about it. Retro should be done for that. That's an issue, right?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I think that we should find a that should be highlighted to that PO as well. Okay, the additional information Nikant is providing is PO wasn't part of the retro. Should he be part of that retro?
Yeah, it depends on the team. Okay, how transparent they want to. Sometimes they allow, sometimes they don't allow. That is on depends on the team. Okay, so some teams allows PO to be in retro, some teams doesn't allow.
Okay.
Both the
All
ways are
right.
okay. We cannot say this is right, that is wrong. Okay, so both the ways are going in the industry. Yeah.
All right. I think there's one. Maybe we'll take this as the last question. There's a question on how to collaborate between distributor teams.
Yeah, so this is a good question, I should say. This is a need of the hour also. So connect, right, which is very much important. Connect with the team. So we should have a good connect with the team. Okay. So this face-to-face meetings should be encouraged. So that is what I feel like, good connect and talking to the teams and happening all the agile ceremonies, all that will help. So communication is very much important. So like in the office, like all will be sitting next to each other and working, right? That environment really everyone is missing. So the communication channel should be used properly to collaborating with the team.
All right. Definitely, I think most everyone would agree on that part, especially we're missing seeing people face to face with the current situation. So we are almost on time. So thank you, Shalini, for taking time today and sharing with us your experiences and learnings. And I know the folks in the call would have found the session really valuable. And thank you for answering all the questions that the folks had to share.